Alberta delivers a budget in the red, then the price of oil soars.
And that's going to mean a pretty significant potential surplus for the province.
But don't expect the finance minister to take another look at the books. Plus, 3 people struck in traffic, including a young man changing a tire.
He was hit from behind by another vehicle traveling the same direction.
Renewed warnings from police about road safety and distractions. And is it time to ban social media for youth?
It could actually be quite beneficial for kids.
Ottawa considers following Australia's lead to prevent online harm.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. RCMP are just wrapping up the scene of a bomb threat at a High River High School. They have been searching that building for hours. Mounties surrounded Notre Dame Collegiate School after the lunch hour, after school administration received the threat. 550 students were evacuated from the school, along with staff and teachers, to a nearby golf course. Mounties did not say where the threat originated from or who made it. The bomb squad and 2 sniffer dogs spent hours inside that school. Students thought they were being evacuated for a fire drill, and then they were dismissed for the day.
I can connect the dots after there's like police cars and stuff and like a bunch of firefighters. It's probably something dangerous, but if they have all of us out here, I don't think it'd be like a shooting or something. Probably be a bomb threat.
I was like kind of shocked because I was like, never thought that happened. I was like, also kind of worried because like I left my stuff in there, so I don't want it to explode.
It was weirded out, like almost kind of thing, and like mysterious and scared.
It's unclear if the school will definitely reopen tomorrow, but the school division does say staff will be available to support families and students who may have questions or concerns. The family of a 12-year-old girl who was hospitalized after the mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge has filed a civil claim against artificial intelligence company OpenAI. Maya Gabala is recovering in hospital after being shot multiple times in the mass shooting that left 8 dead, plus the shooter. Her family has filed a civil lawsuit against OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. They say the artificial intelligence tool provided information, guidance, and assistance to carry out such an attack, and that several employees identified a risk in the shooter's posts, recommended police be called, but leadership rebuffed the concerns. OpenAI responded with a statement today, writing that what happened in Tumbler Ridge was an unspeakable tragedy, adding that OpenAI is committed to working to make meaningful changes to prevent tragedies like this in the future. Alberta's budget may be getting an early boost from high oil prices, but the finance minister is not rethinking the fiscal plan. That is despite another province reversing its course on budget just days after tabling it. But economists say the resource volatility could be good news for Alberta's outlook in the medium term. Here's Jordan Canigan.
Alberta's finance minister is standing firm when asked whether changes to his deficit and tax-heavy budget are coming.
No, we tabled this budget knowing this would be an uncertain year, much like the year previous.
The uncertainty has arrived with the price of oil on a wild ride globally. Budget 2026 is built off oil sitting around $60 per barrel for the year. West Texas Intermediate already soared past $100 before scaling back to the mid-80s.
The market expects oil prices to fall, not them staying at $85 per barrel. But even where futures markets are currently headed, we're kind of in the ballpark of what you would need for a balanced budget, which is in the mid-70s per barrel.
It would be a big swing from a $9.4 billion deficit, but while Nova Scotia has backed off of budget cuts due to backlash,
Nova Scotians have spoken clearly. Many people told us that they were worried about certain parts of the budget.
Alberta is moving ahead, including introducing legislation Tuesday to increase the tourism levy from 4% to 6%.
Given that affordability is a challenge, anything that makes travel less affordable for visitors, is not great for the tourism economy as a whole.
Every dollar change from $60 WTI means a $680 million swing in Alberta's budget. Because of that sensitivity, the budget boss says they need to stay the course.
We're committed to having conservative forecasts, doing the right thing in surplus, and riding out the bad years.
Jordan joins us from McDougall Centre tonight. Jordan, the mayor agrees that the budget shouldn't necessarily change based on oil price swings, but he is still pushing back against the province.
And Tara, Jeremy Farkas likens the situation to how a household would run its budget. He says that you budget for things like rent and groceries. You don't rely on a bonus to pay for those essentials. But the mayor also says that with Calgarians enduring a large provincial increase on the property tax side, they should also be seeing funding increases for things like infrastructure and services. And the mayor maintains that just isn't happening. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. A campaign to recall Alberta's premier has failed. It was one of more than 20 recall petitions against members of the UCP government. They were launched late last year, and many focused on the government's use of the notwithstanding clause to force teachers back to work. Others say it was because representatives were hard to reach or dismissive of their concerns. Petitioners get 3 months to collect signatures that would equal 60% of the total votes cast in their constituency. Smith's recall collected about 2,300 signatures. The organizer of this one says it achieved what it set out to do.
This was never about the signatures. This was about starting a conversation. And we did that. We started a conversation, not just within our community, but within our province. And lo and behold, within our whole country, it started a conversation. The conversation was a call for humanity and accountability. And in that, we hit the jackpot.
There are only 5 petitions left to work through the process, including one against an Edmonton NDP MLA. 3 pedestrians were hurt in 3 separate collisions today. In one incident, an 18-year-old is in serious condition after he was hit while changing a tire. Police say the man was in the left eastbound lane of Nose Hill Drive near Tuscany Hill when he was struck just before 9 this morning. He was taken to hospital where he is in serious but stable condition. The driver of the other vehicle did stay at the scene. Police say the quick actions of some bystanders may also have helped save the man's life.
After the collision, there were a few bystanders that were able to stop and provide aid to the 18-year-old male. And that definitely had an effect on the survivability.
Speed is not considered a factor, but police are looking into whether sun glare may have played a role. They say someone facing a mechanical issue or a flat tire should pull over to the shoulder before doing work, or just stay in their car if they don't feel safe until more help arrives. In the Northeast, a woman was rushed to hospital in serious condition after being struck by a vehicle in a Costco parking lot. It happened just before noon in the lot just off 32nd Street. And this morning, a child was hurt in a hit and run. It happened on Taradale Drive in the Northeast when the child was crossing the street. They were taken to hospital with a leg injury. Investigators are still looking for the driver, but they have not released a description of the vehicle. There was a very similar hit and run nearby just last month. Police have released this photo of a woman believed to be driving an SUV that struck a child in a crosswalk. It happened February 10th at the intersection of Taradale Drive and Falcon Ridge Boulevard Northeast. The woman got out of her vehicle, spoke to the child, and then drove away.
You're watching CTV News Calgary.
The social media platform TikTok will be allowed to continue operating in Canada after agreeing to enhance security for users and to invest in the country's cultural sector. In 2024, the federal government ordered the Chinese-owned app to take its business out of the country because of national security risks. However, Ottawa never banned the platform. A federal court reversed the order in January and called for another review. Ottawa now says TikTok can keep its business here. The dangers of going on the internet have only been exacerbated by social media. And for kids, it can be a dangerous playground. Now the federal government is eyeing a ban on social media for youth. Here's Tyler Barrow.
Worry for parents never wavers. With the advent of social media, many are fearful of a platform they didn't have as a kid.
It allows kids to be a different person without having to see emotions from other people. So cyberbullying.
Charbonneau's 11-year-old daughter isn't on social media. Even if she wanted to, soon she might not be able. The federal government is considering a social media ban for kids.
I think it's a really good idea.
Australia recently made it illegal for children under the age of 16 to have accounts on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, and other social media sites. And if the bans are broken, it's the social media companies that are fined. Australia wants the tech companies to take reasonable steps to keep kids off their platforms. Tools include multiple age assurances, ID checks, or face and voice recognition. Ottawa says many options are on the table. These grade 12 students think a ban could be helpful for younger kids.
It puts you in a different mindset of just like looking for followers and stuff when you shouldn't be too worried about that when you're younger.
Protect younger people and their minds and keep them away from all the anxiety and whatnot that comes with social media.
One expert sees minimal upside to teenagers using social media.
I think it's had a horrible effect on kids' mental health. They're not learning social skills. They're not having real-time conversations. They're not outdoors or engaging in other play, real play.
Social media can also be dangerous. The Canadian Centre for Child Protection received more than 14,000 sextortion reports dating back to 2020, but that's only victims who came forward. Another children's advocacy group says there is an urgent need to introduce online safety legislation. It wants online gaming and AI included as well.
Youth are facing really grave threats right now to their mental health and well-being. We're seeing their childhood being radically transformed, even from the early years.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
CTV News did reach out to Meta, the parent company for Instagram and Facebook, but we did not hear back by our deadline. A strong start for day one of new water restrictions, with Calgarians coming under the targeted threshold. 496 million litres of water was used yesterday, which falls just within the city's safe and sustainable green zone. The restrictions are to accommodate repairs on the Berespaw feeder main, which carries 60% of Calgary's drinking water, while work continues in unison on a replacement pipe. Today, the first section of the old pipe was fully drained and excavation began near Sarcee Trail and Point McKay Park. Outdoor water use is not allowed, and residents are encouraged to reduce their consumption for at least the next 3 weeks. A water main break in the southwest did not help matters. The line ruptured on Haddon Road in Haysboro around 5:30 a.m. The fire department says initial attempts to shut off the water were unsuccessful, and 2 homes had flooded basements. Let's bring Danielle in now. Well, we got above zero today, which was nice, so probably lots of melting, but that probably then means lots of ice tomorrow morning.
Correct. Yes. Expect a lot of icy patches out there tonight. Tomorrow morning, when off to work and school. I was stuck in it this morning, for example. So a bit tricky getting around for sure, especially when you're walking out there. And it will get even more tricky when we add a bunch of snow to this on Wednesday night and Thursday. We had a couple flurries out there, but that has since really fizzled out for now. So we're not looking at that. You can see the skies have started to clear. We're sitting at +1 still. The sun is still out. It's a little on the windy side at 40 kilometers per hour. On your way to work, school tomorrow morning, yes, a bit icy out there. Also a wind chill of -9. Clouds will increase in the afternoon. The winds will pick up in the afternoon, while we will get up to a high of 2. By tomorrow night, we're looking at a decent snowfall. We'll talk more about that just ahead, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. A pharmacy in Sunalta is drawing a crowd. It's providing a needed service to some of Calgary's most vulnerable, but other businesses nearby say it's increasingly not safe. And a national security incident after shots are fired at the U.S. Consulate in Toronto. That's next. Businesses along a stretch of 10th Avenue Southwest in Sunalta say social disorder in the area is driving away customers. As Kevin Green reports, those businesses say the problem seems to stem from one particular spot along the road.
On a trip down 10th Avenue in Sunalta on any given day, you'll find emergency crews working to revive an overdose victim on the street, while others stumble around bent over in a drug-induced haze.
Businesses are closing, things are falling apart. They're forgetting about the homeless. They're literally just forgetting about them. And they're pooling, and that to me is a problem.
People in the area say the homeless and addicted are pooling around one business, the ERX Pharmacy. It's been here 3 years, but changes in Calgary's drug treatment network have driven clients with addictions here to the point that now it accounts for almost all of its practice. Clients told CTV they come here every day for a dose of methadone. Methadone's a medication used to help people get off opioids.
It's because they have a coffee shop in the back and they don't mind us hanging out here. When you're homeless and you're trying to get off this stuff, everybody's like, move along, you can't hang out. So it's somewhere we can just hang out and socialize without being harassed.
Nearby businesses say it's driving away clientele.
My patients, they are sometimes scared. In fact, I have had patients cancel their appointment when they arrive because they're afraid to come in because of the disorder that's happening outside.
Other businesses say they're tired of watching fights on the street and cleaning garbage and feces up from around their buildings.
Lots of people passed out to the point where they honestly look dead. And when they finally do get up, it's kind of shocking that they get up.
Police say they've stepped up patrols in the area, and the ward councillor says he's exploring options to try and solve the social disorder problem plaguing 10th Avenue Southwest.
We can work with that business and the surrounding businesses to see if there's some changes we can make that would decrease the intensity of that problem.
Kevin joins us now from Sunalta. So Kevin, what does the pharmacy owner say about this?
Well, Tara, the owner of the pharmacy just spoke to me about an hour ago. He didn't want to be interviewed on camera, but did say he believes his pharmacy is supplying a necessary service to his clients. He said he's doing everything he can to try and keep the area safe, including hiring security to work outside his building. He says what he believes is the real root of the problem is a lack of facilities for Calgary's unhoused population, and says the solution to the problem here would be in finding more places for them to live. Back to you.
Okay, Kevin Green reporting. Kevin, thank you. Police are investigating any possible terrorism links as they search for two suspects who fired shots at the U.S. Consulate in Toronto early today. Police say a white Honda CR-V stopped in front of the U.S. Consulate early this morning. Two individuals got out and shot what appears to be a handgun at the front of the building, then got back into the vehicle and drove away. While people were inside that heavily fortified building, no injuries were reported, and it wasn't until an hour later that an officer was flagged down in the area.
When they did it at 5:30 in the morning, they knew they weren't going to jeopardize lives, but they're making an obvious statement here.
Police stopped short of confirming a motive, but say there will be heightened security at the U.S. and Israeli embassies and consulate buildings in both Toronto and Ottawa. There are conflicting messages tonight about when the war in Iran will end. President Donald Trump warned Iran not to interfere with international oil shipments, now saying he expects the fighting to end very soon. Here's CTV's Joy Malbon.
The Pentagon with new video bombing Iran's missile launchers and destroying their ammunition stockpiles. A fresh round of attacks. The U.S. says it has hit more than 5,000 targets, including 50 vessels.
Today will be yet again our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers. On the other hand, the last 24 hours have seen Iran fire the lowest number of missiles.
Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says Iran is badly losing and there will be no let-up. This as the Trump administration is sending mixed messages when the conflict will end. The president suggested the war's goals were pretty much complete, telling Republicans,
I think you'll see it's going to be a short-term excursion. How good is our military, right?
Trading threats on social media, Trump told Fox News he's not happy with Iran's new supreme leader, a hardline cleric and son of the assassinated Ayatollah Khamenei, saying, I don't believe he can live in peace. Iran security chief shot back, warning the U.S. president, be careful not to get eliminated yourself. This after Trump threatened to rain fire and fury on Iran, warning the regime against stopping the world's flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, now at a standstill and sending gas prices soaring. But the White House insists that won't last long.
U.S. military is drawing up additional options following the president's directive to continue keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. I will not broadcast what those options look like, but just know the president is not afraid to use them.
So when will it all end? The White House and Secretary of War both say that's up to President Trump to determine when Iran is no longer a direct threat to America. Joy Malbon, CTV News, Washington.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in now for our 5-day forecast. It's still got a little bit of snow in it.
We sure do. You know what? Expect every few days we're going to get some snowfall here. This is March. It's our snowiest month. And we're on par really to get that every few days. We're going to have another round on the weekend as well. Okay, right now, +1 in the city. That's our daytime high. Also our current temperature. 2 degrees in Brooks at the moment, at the freezing mark in Lethbridge, and just below that in through Milk River and Pincher Creek. So overall, we've had mild temperatures for today. It's still 3 degrees in Medicine Hat and 2 in Brooks. Mild temperatures will get a little warmer on average, about 2 degrees warmer in most communities in southern Alberta for tomorrow. And then temperatures will fall for the rest of the week below the freezing mark. All right, radar and satellite. Earlier today, we did have a few flurries pop up. This has since fizzled out and things are clearing out. So tomorrow, for the most part, will be quite a nice, enjoyable day to be outdoors. There'll be some sunshine. Temperatures will be mild, but after the noon hour, things will start to change. We're going to get a consistent feed of moisture from the southwest. That means a significant snowfall is on the way for Wednesday night and through Thursday as well. Okay, talking about the timeline here, it will start to build in tomorrow to the mountains. This is a shot Wednesday, 8 in the morning. And then throughout the day, yes, we'll get some sunshine, but in the afternoon in the city, the clouds will increase. The winds will pick up to about 50 kilometers per hour by 9:30 p.m. So you can see by your time shot here, 9:30 p.m. it will really be into the mountains, and closer to 11 p.m. it will start to push its way into Calgary, up QE2, down Highway 2 towards Lethbridge. And this will be quite heavy at times Wednesday night and through Thursday. Thursday in the afternoon, it looks like it will be on and off throughout the day and really clearing out by early Friday morning. So this is something that will last a while, which is why we're looking at seeing some decent totals from this. Just to give you an idea, basically from Red Deer down to Okotoks, anywhere from 10 to 15 centimeters, certainly likely with this system. Off to the west, though, closer to that 20 centimeter mark, Canmore over to Banff, and a little less for Lethbridge, Taber, Brooks, and Medicine Hat, under 10 centimeters expected. All right, here's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast for the city. 2 degrees is our high for tomorrow, mainly sunny skies, but again, by the afternoon, the clouds increasing, the winds gusting up to 50 kilometers per hour, and Wednesday night, 3 to 5 centimeters of snow likely, and then another 5 to 10 centimeters on Thursday. You can also see by your daytime highs, they will be below freezing Thursday and for the rest of the week, and by Saturday, it's a smaller round of snow, but another round of snow in the forecast for then as well. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. People on Vancouver Island are getting hit with a blast of winter. Thick, heavy snow has been falling all day, up to 10 centimeters in Port Alberni. Truckers had to put chains on their tires to get around. More than 10 centimeters of snow is possible at higher elevations, and there is more snow in the forecast this week. It may be hard to believe given the recent blasts of winter, but Alberta is now officially in wildfire season. In southern Alberta, fire officials are already asking residents to take precautions. They say mishandled fire pits and smoking materials can easily start fires, and machinery used for seeding also represents risks. The Lethbridge region has seen a drier than usual winter, but this latest batch of precipitation came at just the right time to keep the fire risk down, at least for now.
We actually are preparing all the time. Wildfire risk in the county is pretty much our number one risk. So to say that, the weather is actually cooperating with us right now, and it sounds like between March and April we're going to have higher amounts of precipitation.
Last year in Alberta, more than 670,000 hectares of land burned from wildfires. A proactive approach prevented a Calgary E. coli outbreak from getting much worse. That's the conclusion of a U of C study. We'll tell you what made the difference. Also ahead, the ultimate Calgary road trip, a group of cyclists really covering the map. The University of Calgary is sharing its E. coli protocol with the medical world after dozens of children were hospitalized from an outbreak in 2023. The findings from its research were just published in the JAMA Network Open with the hope that it becomes a global standard for care. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
As a parent, it's your absolute worst nightmare.
It's hard for Kierley Hull to look back at these pictures of her daughter Audrey at the Children's Hospital in 2023. At 14 months old, she developed serious complications from a daycare E. coli outbreak.
During her hospitalisation, she had some kidney issues, kidney failure, she had a seizure. She spent 6 weeks in the Children's Hospital, and then every day since she has had to take medication.
Hank, her son, also suffered from E. coli poisoning but made a full recovery. Over 400 people were diagnosed with E. coli linked to the outbreak, according to the province. The university says about 40 were hospitalized, 21 developed a serious complication known as hemolytic uremic syndrome, or HUS, and 9 needed dialysis. Luckily, no one died. Medical staff at the University of Calgary believe it's because of the optimized protocol or pathway that they developed over decades of research. Once E. coli is confirmed through stool samples, daily monitoring includes urine and blood tests to check for HUS.
What we've come to realize is, number one, we can identify signs of evolving hemolytic uremic syndrome or complications before they manifest clinically, before parents are aware of them, before children complain about things. And then we've also learned that if children are dehydrated when they develop hemolytic uremic syndrome, they are more likely to need dialysis and more likely to die.
Through this proactive technique, cases of severe complications were 50% lower than expected for an outbreak of this scale.
What was remarkable about this outbreak is we had a large number of cases and probably one of the largest outbreaks ever reported. And we had 0 fatalities, which is very unusual for an outbreak this size.
The report was published in the medical journal JAMA Network Open, and doctors hope it sets a global standard for care. As for Hull, she couldn't be more grateful.
My opinion is that if that hadn't been for that pathway, the outcome for my daughter and a few of the other families would have been very different, and that could have included the deaths of our children.
Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
Fueling Minds, which provided snacks and meals to children at several daycares, was fined $10,000 after pleading guilty to 4 offences relating to the company's failure to have a catering license. The province also made a number of recommendations to improve food services and increase safety inspections as a result of that outbreak. A world-famous fresco is getting a refresh. Coming up, the simple process being used on a Michelangelo masterpiece. Members of a dedicated group of cyclists are committed to covering every part of Calgary. They take different routes all the time, and they keep careful logs of every street and path they venture down. Kevin Fleming caught up with the Calgary Wanderers.
He's been cycling his whole life and enjoys recording some of his commutes. Inderpreet Kong has ridden close to half of the city.
Calgary has about 8,500 plus where you can take your bike. And this is all set in stone with the OpenStreetMap, and the Wanderer app is linked to that.
Kong is one of the members of the Calgary Wanderers who stay off highways and freeways but concentrate on community roads and pathways.
That's not about the exercise. I think it's a lifestyle. I highly encourage everybody, to bike. It just brings, me to myself when I bike.
David Schomber has the highest percentage of the city covered on 2 wheels. He was up to 93%, but because the city's always expanding, he dropped down a point. Now he wants to make that up.
I feel good. I'm healthy. I'm 73 years of age, and I can still do 100K on a good day. Not as many days anymore like that, but I think it's just the health aspect.
John Fransky has ridden every day since Christmas Day 2022 and enjoys the challenge of covering every Calgary road and pathway.
I was a Pac-Man guy as a kid, right? And literally when you're riding around with your phone in the hand, chasing the red new roads to ride, it literally is like playing Pac-Man. I have found myself going wah, 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 wah a couple of times, and I do have a chuckle.
Ron McMahon says the group doesn't ever ride together because they're all at different stages of their journey.
We get together once or twice a year just on a social basis and have a few brews and just talk and share what we're doing with our riding, celebrate our achievements, our accomplishments and our advancements, and talk about things that we see or do.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
That's cool. The Calgary Wanderers are encouraging more riders to sign up for the challenge to ride every kilometre of road and pathway in our city. We posted links to the websites that the group uses to keep track of how far they've travelled. Very fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, well, the artistic talents of some British youngsters are being used to help foster a critical and very cute penguin ritual at a UK zoo. Okay, so every year, penguins at the Edinburgh Zoo, it's all penguins actually, they all do this, they select and deliver stones in a nesting ritual to win over potential mates. Aww. So to spruce up the ceremony, kids from a local hospital hand-painted about 1,000 of the stones. Aww. And the penguins seem suitably tickled pink. This is the 4th year of this creative collaboration, and the zoo says it helps the kids stay connected with nature, especially if they're having a long, tough hospital stay.
Oh, that'll get your mind
That's so
off.
great.
Yeah, penguins love it, right?
Yeah, that's awesome. So cute. Well, one of the most recognizable artworks on the planet is undergoing a rare cleaning, and tourists are to blame. So Michelangelo's Last Judgment is a massive fresco behind the chapel's altar, and it's undergoing its first cleaning and restoration in more than 30 years. A buildup of a whitish residue left the vibrant work's colors looking rather dulled. Restorationists say that residue is caused in part by the breath and the sweat of millions of people who visit the chapel each year.
Wow.
Yeah, we're in there and we're hot and we're sweating and it's affecting the paint. So a technique involving deionized water and thin paper is being used to carefully restore the fresco to its former brilliance.
Well, that looks
Isn't that
cool.
neat?
That's impressive.
Wow.
It's a lot of hard work.
Yes, it is. It's very delicate work.
All those sweaty people.
Yeah. Well, no doubt you've had a doggy bag at some point in your life, but it probably didn't look quite like this. That's a doggy bag. This cute canine is called Keanu, the Pomeranian passenger prince. Ever since his mom got this new tote bag, he doesn't walk anymore. He likes to be carried everywhere, so he just hops in. He's a pampered pooch.
Why would you walk when you've got that?
Yeah. Why would you walk when you can get carried everywhere?
Adorable.
Yeah, you have to be just the right size to fit in a bag. You've got a bag that would fit a pooch, Danielle.
Yeah, I do.
Well, a popular pop-up art park in our city is making a move. Why Container is leaving Sunnyside and where you can catch it next.
All right, Skywatch weather camera bouncing around a little bit. We have gusts around 40 kilometers per hour, and those gusts will be back again and a little more, even a little windier tomorrow afternoon, 50 kilometer per hour gusts ahead of this next storm. Currently 1 degree, today's high 1. Here's that big, she's laughing over there. Here's that big bag Tara's talking about. I feel like it could fit 3 or 4 Pomeranians. Anyway, that's that. All right, record for this day, 18.9. From 1934. Right now we're sitting at 1, so we're not close to record breaking. But you know what? It's been mild today and it will be mild tomorrow. In fact, much of tomorrow will be quite nice. Things have cleared out, as you can see here. It's tomorrow night and through Thursday that's going to be very wintry and very slick because we have all this melting going on. Then we're going to get lots of fresh snow on top of it Wednesday night and Thursday. So very slick conditions on sidewalks and roads. Wind chill of -9 to kick off your day tomorrow. So cool start. And then lots of sunshine, getting up to a high of 2 around that noon hour. Then the clouds will increase. The winds will pick up. Small chance of afternoon flurries, but a huge chance of getting significant snow Wednesday night, late at night and through Thursday. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace Fixed Rider. It's free, giving you a quick look at how much snowfall is possible. And as you can see, Red Deer down to about High River, around that 10 to 15 centimeter mark, closer to 20 centimeters in the mountains, and then a little less for Lethbridge, Tabor, and Medicine Hat. Quick dance around here, 7 for Kamloops and Kelowna, showers on the BC side. And again, for the most part tomorrow, it's pretty stable. 3 for Edmonton, 2 for Red Deer, 6 for Drumheller and High River, so warm temperatures, especially far south, 6 in Lethbridge and 7 for Medicine Hat. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. Alberta's finance minister is standing pat, making no changes to the provincial budget. Nate Horner says he will continue with conservative financial forecasts, even though oil prices are rising in the short term. RCMP spent hours searching Notre Dame Collegiate in High River after a bomb threat was made against the high school. Students and staff were evacuated to a nearby golf course. And Calgary police are investigating 3 serious traffic incidents today. A man was struck while changing a tire. A child was hurt in a hit and run, and a woman was struck by a vehicle in the Sunridge Costco parking lot. A firefighter's safety was in danger because of the actions of a crash victim in last night's multi-vehicle crash on Deerfoot Trail. It happened near the Calf Row Bridge. A person was trapped in a vehicle on fire. Once extinguished, firefighters freed the victim, who they say then became aggressive, jumped the barrier, and then jumped onto vehicles that had slowed down. Investigators say the driver then attempted to attack a firefighter who was trying to help. One person was taken to hospital in non-life-threatening condition. A key player in the AI build-out reported earnings today. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
Oracle is a $430 billion company whose stock has plummeted over the past year. It needed some solid numbers, and it got them. Cloud revenue, key for the company. It came in at almost $9 billion US for the latest quarter. That's up 44% from the same period last year. Investors are also focused on how much it's investing to build its AI infrastructure, since the company is taking on significant debt to do it. Oracle confirmed it's spending $50 billion US for 2026. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down a fraction to 73.64. West Texas Intermediate down to 86.58. Western Canadian Select is up more than $3 to 77.18. And the TSX gained 81 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
A community arts and culture hub in Sunnyside is moving to a new location in Inglewood. Container Art Park is a multi-award-winning space made up of shipping containers. It has hosted art shows and performances, and the containers themselves are works of art. It's been a meeting place for arts and culture in Sunnyside for 14 years, but it's making way now for affordable housing. It will now live on 9th Ave and 9th Street Southeast, courtesy of the Esker Foundation. Organizers say they want to know how people would like this new site to be used.
So if people have ideas of what you want to see on this site, we encourage you to reach out to our website for more information and to share your ideas of what you want to see here. And if you would like to participate as an artist, or you want to participate as an arts organization, or you would like to rent the site, this is the time.
You can weigh in at springboardperformance.com. Parks Canada is introducing new zoning and increased watercraft regulations across national parks in Alberta. This spring, an aquatic invasive species strategy begins in mountain parks like Banff, Jasper, and Waterton Lakes. AIS are any non-native plants, animals, or diseases that disrupt sensitive ecosystems by competing with the native species for food and habitat. New zones are being introduced which will require different permits and watercraft regulations on bodies of water in the parks. That means Bow Lake, Moraine Lake, and Lake Minnewanka will be closed to paddleboarding and canoeing. Parks Canada says visitors should check ahead to know which activities are allowed in which zone.
The updates are the equipment restrictions in the preservation zone and on Lake Minnewanka. So the prohibition on watercraft and waders and wading boots in those areas is the update that visitors can expect.
The federal government currently focuses on AIS prevention through monitoring, permitting, and boat watercraft inspections. Other phases of the strategy are expected to be rolled out over the next 2 years. The Calgary Canucks have fired their head coach. That is despite the fact they've clinched a playoff spot. Glenn has reaction for us coming up. He predicted an early spring, but it turns out he won't be around to see it. Wiarton Willie, Canada's famous rodent prognosticator, has died. He passed away peacefully in his sleep, according to local officials. It comes just over a month after he predicted an early spring. The Calgary Flames didn't get off to a great start on their 5-game road trip. Glenn is back with us, and Glenn, the Flames could not get it done against the Washington Capitals.
Tara, the Flames showed some fight. They came back from a 3-0 deficit, but they gave it all back and more in the third period. Can't dwell on that 7-3 loss to the Caps, so the Flames right back in action tonight against the New York Rangers. Flames almost opened up the scoring in the first. Remember last night they got a couple of shorthanded goals? Well, they almost did it again tonight. Yegor Sharangovich in on the break, but he rings it off the crossbar. Still no score in the game. The Rangers open up the scoring a little later in the first. They're on a 5-on-3 power play. Mika Zibanejad with the shot. Perfect redirection by Alexis Lafreniere. It's his 6th and it's 16th, 1-0. Rangers go up by a pair in the second. Gabe Perreault goes in on the break, but no, Dustin Wolf denies him. Keeps it a 1-0 game. Rangers do make it 2-0 a little later in the second. They dump this one in. Ty Cartier gets it over to Connor Sherry, and he had no chance there for Dustin Wolf. Rangers up 2-0 at that point, and the lad one more before the end of the second. Pretty passive play here. Perreault to Zibanejad over to Lafreniere. What a goal that was. Rangers go up 3-0 over the Flames after 2 periods of play. Calgary Canucks back in action tonight at the Ken Bracco Arena. The Canucks host the Whitecourt Wolverines, and there will be some new faces behind the bench. The Calgary Canucks are in 4th place in the AJHL South Division and have already clinched a playoff spot. Despite that, the team decided to make a change behind the bench. On Sunday, the Canucks fired head coach Matt Robinson and his assistant Brandon Cozen.
Obviously, unfortunate timing and losing two great people. But yeah, it was a shock to the boys. But we're looking forward. Right now, our sights are on the playoffs, and we're looking on having a good run here.
With just 3 games left in the regular season, Jeff Rollins takes over behind the bench on an interim basis.
Some of the members of the board reached out to me last week and explained the situation and asked if I was interested in helping the team out, and with being an alumni of the association and how much it means to me to be a Calgary Canuck, and I shuffled some things around so I could make it work.
It's looking like the Canucks will face the Canmore Eagles in the opening round of the playoffs. That doesn't give Rollins and his staff much time with the group, but he sees the potential.
Well, I mean, like I've told the guys already, everything's going to be earned from this point out. I mean, I'm coming in with an open mind and clean slate for everybody, and the guys that are willing to buy in and get on board will be the ones that we go with down the stretch.
The 20-year-old Tomko says veterans like himself will have to make sure the coaching staff's message gets through.
Just got to reset mentally. What's in the past is in the past. We've struggled a little bit past January here. We need to just reset and forget all about that, because ultimately the playoffs are a whole other season and anything can happen.
Ryan Carson also joins the staff as an interim associate coach. Riley Hearn remains with the team. Puck drop for tonight's game, 7 o'clock at the Ken Bracco Arena. And the Calgary Surge have themselves a new head coach. Perry Huang takes over from Caleb Canales, who is with Troy University, so he won't be returning. Huang is the current assistant coach with the Los Angeles Lakers NBA G-League team affiliate, South Bay Lakers.
Thank you, Glenn. All right, final peek at the forecast. And there's still a lot of snow in there.
There is. So let's think about it this way. Yes, we have to shovel, which is good exercise.
That's right.
And 2, it helps make it a less smokier summer, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So it's all good news here. Although the icy conditions underneath the snow Wednesday and Thursday will make it very, very treacherous for driving, so you'll have to take your time. 2 degrees is our high tomorrow. Much of tomorrow will be quite nice, but by the afternoon hours, the winds will pick up, the temperatures will drop, the clouds will roll in. Maybe even a few flurries earlier on, but the real significant snow is late Wednesday night in through Thursday. 3 to 5 centimeters Wednesday night, another 5 to 10 possible Thursday. You can see cooler temperatures then for the rest of the week, and another less significant snowfall slated for Saturday. Okay, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors. Crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Mike Patterson sent this in from Carson County, and he says those poor gophers out there, because of the white snow, it's pretty easy to spot your prey out there.
Circle of life, guys.
Yeah. Circle of life.
By the way, that shoveling on Sunday was no fun at all.
No.
Okay?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.